Hello and welcome to the second lesson we offer here at OpenEye Forex, which is pretty much an understanding of analysis and market autonomy. So you'll get to have a better insight on how the market is structured and how the market is structured, and you'll basically get to understand candlesticks and the different tools we use for analyzing a market. Okay, so let's start with the type of analysis. There are three types of analysis, but here I've only placed two. Okay, and the first type of analysis is technical analysis. This is the type of analysis we prefer to trade at OpenEye Forex. This is a study of a chart and price. There are various ways in which people perform technical analysis, like using patterns, trends, price actions, indicator, and much more. So basically, we collect historical data to try and reach a conclusion for the future, looking at where the market had supply and demand, also known and better known as support and resistance, and other various technical aspects to trading, to performing technical analysis. This, in the opinion of OpenEye Forex, is the best sort of analysis, as the chart is a visual representation of buyers and sellers in the market, or the actions of buyers and sellers in the market. Therefore, we see what all the major market players are doing, and we simply follow what they're doing rather than what they're saying. So this is sort of situation where we'll come here, right, to our MetaTrader platform, and we'll just perform analysis. We'll look at what's going on. So let me just clear this chart up because we'll be using it. So let me just clear everything up. Right, so you do technical analysis, you look at what is going on here. If it's still gibberish to you now, you will get to understand as we go through the course. But the second lesson should highlight, or by the end of this lesson, you will have a clear understanding of what all of these green and red bars mean. All right, so that's technical analysis, looking at all of that and reaching a conclusion as to whether you would like to buy or you would like to sell. All right, the second type of analysis is fundamental analysis, right? Fundamental analysis. This type of analysis is performed by looking at economic news, economic data, geopolitical events, and things in the line of financial information. If news is good, we buy the currency, and if news is bad, we sell it. Now, in theory, it sounds all good and well, but the biggest issue with it is that sometimes the movement is seen later, or they will push markets elsewhere before in the fundamental direction. We will discuss the flaws once we get into advanced concepts. All right. So now we have different type of charts. All these lines and bars and stuff like that you're seeing, here's where it comes in, the different type of charts. Okay, so the first chart we'll look at is a line chart. And the line chart, so the definition of a line chart. A line chart draws a line from one closing price to the next closing price relative to the time frame, which we'll discuss later on in the lesson. When you view a line chart, you can see the direction, you can see the currency pair direction. This line chart is useful when looking at it at larger time frames. So yes, we can use it in all time frames, which we'll get to understand time frames, but then it's better when looking at the larger ones. So picking up where we left, here's the line chart. So the line chart just draws a line from a closing price to a closing price. So let's just say price at 1 o'clock closed at 13.50, or in fact let's do that. Let's look at, yes, but no, it's fine here. So basically, it will move to where price closed. So if price closed at a particular price, that's where the line chart will move to. Unlike our other two following charts, which you'll get to see now. So basically, a line chart goes from close price to close price to close price, which will make more sense when we look at the other sort of charts. All right, so another type of chart we get is a bar chart, right? A bar chart has tons of information, and you can interpret a lot of information on that chart. It gives you information as to where price opened and where price closed, and it tells us the highs and lows of that particular time frame. So here, for example, is the bar chart. So looking at the bar chart, it will tell us, here's where price opened and here's where price closed. Here's the low of the time frame and here's the high of the time frame. So it can tell us that, okay, here's where the price hit the low and here's where price hit a high, and it will also tell us where price opened and where price closed. All right, now to the candlestick chart. The candlestick chart is very similar to the bar chart, but it has a much better look to it. It still shows us the same information, such as the open and close price and the high and low of the candlestick, right? And this is a personal favorite of OpenIFRS. Well, it used to be, but later on in the course, you will see our alternative and why we prefer to look at those, but we'll still go over it. Why the candlestick? Well, it's just better to look at it, like we said before. It's easy to read at a glance. So looking at it here, we can already see open prices and close prices of the chart, and whether we had buying or selling activity in that particular time frame. So we'll understand that concept when we get to time frames. But then here's how a bar chart looks, how a candlestick chart looks. And just looking at it, when we see green, we can see that there was buying activity, and when there's red, we can see that there was selling activities. So now, the anatomy of the candlestick. We will only cover the anatomy of a candlestick because that's the only sort of candles we use, but there are tons of sites where you can understand the other sort of charts that we get, like the line chart or the bar chart. But because we mainly use, and by me saying mainly, probably 99.9% of the times use a candlestick chart. So for the purposes of this training, I haven't put a candlestick chart here. I want us to go and physically draw the candlestick chart, or the candlestick rather, to understand what is happening with the candlestick. So I want you to take your pen and your paper and to also draw this out with me as I'll be explaining it on Paint. Okay, so understanding the anatomy of a candlestick. All right, remember I said it tells you four things. It tells you the high, it tells you the low, it tells you the open price, and it tells you the close price. So I'll use the ZAR as an example right now so that we can understand it easier. All right, so high, open price. So when the market, when a candle forms, it starts at an open price. So let's just say this open price is 13.20. Excuse my drawing skills suck on paint, but yes. All right, so that's the open price. And now we'll look at a bull candle, a buying candle. So what will happen is price will go up, and that's how we get the body of the candlestick. So this has a body. So let's just say this was the close price over here, and the close price is 13.50. So the price went from here to up here, right? And then you'll find sometimes these candlesticks have tails. So the top of this tail would then be the high of the candle. So let's just say the high is 13.80. And you'll find the low of the candle, which will come in, let's just say, straight 13 Rand. So we can see the different sort of information we get there. And these candles, the bull candles, the buy candles, will typically be green. You can set them to any color you want, but most times you'll set them as green. All right? And what you get here, you get the open price, the close price, the low of the candle, and finally the high of the candle. Right. So you get all of those. So looking at it again, let's go through it again. What happened? Let's say there was buying activity in the past hour. What will happen is price will open there. Price may go down, but come back up to the open price. So now this is an example where we're buying. And then let's just say price moves up, right? And then maybe price moves up a little more, but then comes down, and the hour is done, and we close at this price over here. So that's how we'll look at it. So price can go down from the open price, and price can go up from the from the close price, or rather go up from the open price, go up, go up a bit more, but then maybe fail to go higher and then come down, finally closing here, and that's how we get the candle. So we'll get the open price, the close price, the low of the candle, and the high of the candle. So now we'll look at an example where markets is selling. So let's say market opened at that price. Let's say market opened at 13.50, and in the past hour market sold. Markets can continue selling, but then maybe the sellers lose a bit of power and buyers come in, but then sellers still have a little bit more power to now make the price close there. So that's it, the hour done. And maybe the price came up a little bit, but sellers came in and then pushed the market down, but then tried to push it to this point of, let's say, 13 Rand straight. So this is an example where price opened at 13.50, closed at 13.20, but they still tried to go to 13 Rand straight, but they failed, or they tried to go to 13.80, buyers tried to come in, but then buyers didn't have enough power, so sellers took over the market, pushed the market down, but coming down to 13 Rand, they failed, so they came back to this zone over here, and finally they got a price of 13.20. And typically, these sort of candles will be red. So yet again, as in the previous example, we get the high. I'll just represent it with an H. We'll get the low, represented by an L. We'll get open price, represented by the O, and we get close price. So what we should understand from there then is that we have a buy candle. We have a buy candle when price opened at a lower price, for example, 13.50, and then in that hour, price closed at a higher price, being 13.80, for example. That's when buyers had power, and this will typically be green. Like I say, you can set it to any color you want, but the OpenEye Forex way, we have it as green. So this will be a buy candle, also known as a bull candle. Or the other example where price opened at 13.80 but then closed at 13.50, meaning that price went down, then the candle will look red. Typically we use red, you can set it to any color. But then that's where we get a sell candle, or also known as a bear candle. So remember, bulls are when you buy and bears are when you sell. So those are the types of that's the anatomy of a candlestick. That, okay, maybe if price went from down here to up here, then it was a buy, and this is how the candle will look. Or if price went from 13.80 down to 13.50, then that would be a sell, and the candle will look like this. So that's the anatomy of the candlestick. Please make sure you get it. If you do not understand it, please contact us and we'll try to assist you there. All right. Candlestick reversals. So by candlestick reversals, we mean when the market is going to go into a different direction. Maybe they've been going up and now they want to go down, or maybe they've been going down, now they want to go up. All right. There are many sort of reversal candlesticks, and we advise that you check them out on the internet on sites such as babypips.com. Although there are many sort of reversal candlesticks, at OpenEye Forex, we prefer to use the concept of one candlestick. And that concept is an engulfing candlestick, right? So we use engulfings. And there are bullish engulfings, meaning buyers when buyers had power there, or bearish engulfings where sellers had power there. All right. So the explanation of a bullish engulfing. A bullish engulfing occurs, a bullish engulfing is when the close price of the current candle is higher than the high of the previous candle. So like in this particular example, you can see this was the candle over here, and this was its high over here. And then the next candle closes. Remember, close price, it's a green price, so when it's a green candle, when it's a buy candle, close price is going to be above, right? So now when the price closes above the previous high, that's what we call a bullish engulfing. When the current candle closes above the high of the previous candle, then we have a bullish engulfing. Same concept as a bearish engulfing. A bearish engulfing is when the close price of the current candle is lower than the low of the previous candle. So as we can see here, this previous candle put in a low over here, but then the next candle then closed, price closed below the previous low. So that was the low attained there, but then price closes below that low, and that's what we call a bearish engulfing. All right, now time frames, which we said we'd get to. Okay, there are various time frames we use when trading, ranging from a 1 minute time frame to a 1 month time frame. What time frame means is that for every candlestick you see, that represents the duration of the time frame you're on. For example, you're on a 15-minute chart. That means every candlestick you see there represents 15 minutes. Same goes for every single time frame available to you. So let's look at a practical example there. Right now, this is the time frames, right? You see 1 hour, H1. So that means every single candle you see was 1 hour, meaning this was 1 hour, this was another hour, this was another hour, this was another hour. Or daily, that means this was 1 day, this was 1 day, this was 1 day, this was another day. Weekly, this was 1 week, this was 1 week, this was 1 week. Or 1 minute, this was 1 minute, this was another minute, this was another minute, this was another minute, another minute, another minute. So I'm sure you get the concept by now. Another thing to note is that when you open a trade, you don't open it to specifically one time frame. It opens across all time frames. A time frame is just another medium of analysis. It is usually tied to the duration of the trade you are going to take, but it's not always the case. You can open a trade on a 5-minute chart and hold it for 10 days, or you can open a trade on a daily chart and just open it for 5 minutes. So those time frames aren't necessarily how long your trade is going to be. It is just a way of seeing if the markets are going up or down. Now we'll discuss this later, but then a higher time frame holds better value than a lower time frame. So a daily chart will buyers on a daily chart are much stronger than buyers on a 1-minute chart. The sellers on a monthly chart are much stronger than sellers on a daily chart. So we'll tend to respect the higher time frames more. All right. And the trading timeframes available to use through the MetaTrader 4 trading platform are the 1-minute chart, the 5-minute chart, the 15-minute chart, the 30-minute chart, the 1-hour chart, the 4-hour chart, the 1-day chart, the 1-week chart, and the 1-month chart. All right. Now that you understand this, we're going to look at market structure and the basics of support and resistance, and what basically the idea of how the market moves. Okay, you might want to take some side notes whilst we discuss this lesson, or this section rather. Okay, so the market doesn't move in a straight line, right? and would usually go up like this, down like this, up like this, down like this, up like this, down like this, up like this, and then down, up, down, down, etc. So it is constantly moving, right? And every time the market stops up here, we call that resistance, indicated with an R. And every time the market stops down here, we call it support. So when the market is going up and can't go up anymore, we call that resistance. And when the market comes down and can't come down anymore, we call that support. So the market always has support and resistance. Here we have resistance again, even though now everything seems like it's going down, but support and resistance still stays the same. When the market can't go up anymore, that's support. When the market can't come down anymore, that's resistance. So that's the basic anatomy of support and resistance. That's the basic move of markets. They go like this, come down like this, go up like this, come down like this, go up like this, come down like this, go up like this, come down like this. All right, so now to add on to this section, let's just say a market starts down here. Market starts down here. We'll say that is our initial low, and comes up here. We'll say that is our initial high. Comes down here, makes a new low, but this is a new structure low. And comes up here, that's a new structure high. So let's indicate this, initial low, initial high. New structure low, right, and moves like this, moves like this, moves like this, moves like this. All right, so now we have a new structure high, because this is a different high now, right? And market comes down again. This is known as a new structure low, and this is known as a new structure high. Then we make a new structure low and make a new structure high. So this now, the new structure lows and the new structure highs are going to be very important when understanding whether we have a bull market, buy market, or a bear market, sell market. So now you can flip to the next page and draw, and I hope you're drawing all of this. I hope that you're drawing it as we're going along. So now that we understand that market has support and resistance, and that market makes new structure lows and new structure highs and new structure lows and new structure highs, even if they go down in the opposite way, these still are over here. That's still a new structure high, and that's still a new structure low. That's new structure high, new structure low, new structure high, new structure low, and so on and so forth. So we understand that the market does that, whether it's going up or down. So now we're going to find out how to identify if it is going up or if it is going down. The bull market structure. So let's just say we have this initial low over here, right? And the market comes and makes a new structure high. They come through, make a new structure low, come through, make a new structure high, new structure low, new structure high, new structure low, new structure high. But instead of labeling them like new structure low and new structure highs, we look at them in finer detail now. All right. And now we'll have the initial low and initial high, right? But now here's the difference with the new structure lows and new structure high. When the market makes a new structure low, this is a low, but then this low is higher than the other low. So we call it a higher low. So that is one of the signs that the market is moving up, when they make lows, but then the new structure low isn't as low as your initial low. Or now, instead of making a new structure high, it's called a higher high. So now we're giving them proper definitions, the new structure low and new structure high. So it makes a higher high. So that's when you know that we are in a bull trend, when we are in an uptrend, when there are buyers in the market. We have a higher high. Market comes down again, has a higher low. Market comes up again, has a higher high. So those are the things that start explaining that, okay, this is a bull market or this is a bear market. When the lows are still low but are higher than the previous lows, and the highs are high and just keep going higher than the previous high, higher than the previous high. So that's what makes a bull structure, a bull market. All right? So bull markets are made by higher highs and higher lows. So when the market just keeps making higher highs and higher lows, then you know that this is a bull trend, and then you know that, okay, people are buying now. Bear market structure. So how do we see that we're selling? It's pretty much the same concept, just in reverse. So we'll start up top here and make our way down. Here we'll have our initial high and our initial low. So we'll see the market will pull back to make a new structure high, but then this high is a lower high. This high is not higher than the previous high, so it's called a lower high. And now we make a low, so we'll call this the lower low. So as soon as the market makes a lower high and a lower low, then we know that the market is coming down. Lower high and lower low. When the market keeps on making lower highs and lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, then you know that we are in a bear market. That's when you know that sellers are the ones that have the most power in that trend. And that's how you spot whether we're going up or we're going down. That's understanding the basic market anatomy. Support and resistance, and please do not be shy to ask me any questions, or if you're still not too sure, look at the videos again, draw it again, open your MetaTrader 4 platform, look at it, and then if you're still not getting it, then contact me and I'll let you see this stuff. Alright, so now that we get that, we're gonna look at the final thing in this lesson. Reversal patterns. So reversal patterns are the way that the market moves, right? In order to show us that, okay, we might turn now. So we'll have a reversal pattern if everything is going up, and we see a reversal pattern that indicates to us that the market might start going down, or if the market is going down, we can get a reversal pattern to start showing us that we're going up. So we're going to look at the theory now, but then once we get to the strategy side of things, then we'll look at the practical and we'll look at the charts. Right. The first sort of reversal patterns we have, which is the most basic, the most easy to find, which are double tops and double bottoms. So a double top is when the market does this. When market comes up, and let's just say they reached a price of 13. All right, that is a terrible thing. Let's say they reached the price of 13.50 and find a resistance over here. Remember, when you can't go any higher, it's resistance. Come down, find support, and come up again to the same price of 13.50, but fail to break that price and start moving down, then we can see that that is a double top. So now the theory, or what I like to say is like a resistance is like a brick wall, right? And now price is like a tennis ball that was thrown to this brick wall. Price failed to break that brick wall and the tennis ball came back. But now the person who threw the tennis ball is trying to break through this wall with the tennis ball, but doesn't have enough power to break through the wall, gets to the wall again, can't break through the wall, and now, obviously, where will price go? Price will go the other side, because if the tennis ball can't go through that wall, then it's going to look for another direction. I mean, we've all played with tennis balls and threw them against stuff, and you'll see it will bounce back. Same thing goes with the double top, double bottom. So this one is the double top. And the double top looks like an M. So some people call it an M formation. Looks like an M. And the double bottom looks like a W, where let's just say this was 1280, for example. 1280, market found support, came up, tried to come back down, hit the same support, but there wasn't enough power to break through that support. And what do markets do? Go the other way. And this is what we call the double bottom. And it pretty much looks like a W formation. So some people call them M's and W's, but the technical names for them are double tops and double bottoms. All right. The second reversal pattern we have is a pattern that we call a head and shoulder pattern. So why do we call it a head and shoulder? Because it literally looks like a head and shoulder. Well, not literally, but like it looks like a head and shoulder. Okay, so what does price do? Price is moving here at bottom, going up, going up, going up. But then finally, the buyers lose the power. The sellers come in, right? But sellers lose power and buyers take over the market again and push the market up. Buyers lose power, sellers come in and reach this point, and then buyers try their luck again by coming into the market, but come back to this previous point of resistance, try break that, and if they fail and start moving down, then you know it's a reversal that's going down. Now this sort of reversal is quite difficult to spot, and even a trained eye can sometimes miss it, but that's how it happens. And then we have what we call the left shoulder. This is the head, and this is the right shoulder. So that's how we get a head and shoulder. We go up, reach resistance, come down, find support, break the resistance, but find new resistance, and then we come down again. And then market goes up to the previous resistance where we had the left shoulder, fails to break it, and comes down. So that's how that pattern looks. So it looks like a head over here and two shoulders over here. Same goes for the inverted head and shoulder. We call it to the opposite side an inverted head and shoulder. So when we see it, it comes down like this, finds support, comes up, gets resisted, finds support again, gets resisted again, finds support. Where does the market find support? It will find support right over here where they did previously, and then they'll reverse and go up. That's the inverted head and shoulder. And then the last sort of reversal pattern we look at is the oh no, I'm turning, which there is other names for it. I gave it this name because for me it looks like someone that's got their hands in the air and they're just waving them around. But this is what the market will do. Market will go up, find resistance, come down, find support, find resistance again, find support, try to come up again. It looks like a little W in here, but don't mind that. Come up again to this area of resistance, fail to break it, and they'll start selling off the market like this. Same thing goes for the other way. If markets come down like this, they'll come up, come down just a bit, come up, come down, where to this previous point of resistance, of support rather, and then go up. Now there's something that I want you to take note of, and we'll look at again at the head and shoulder. What I want you to take note of is that these are actually like an M and W formation. This looks like an M formation because it comes up like this, comes down like this, comes up like this, comes down. Alright, this looks like an M formation because look at this. The market follow the black trade, the black one. Market will come up like this, they come down, come up, and come down. So now this little bit of information is there to trick people. This is also pretty much a W or a double bottom, but this information is there to confuse the people. Trading, the markets will never give you a clear sign, but they know what they're doing. So that's why you will take some time. You'll have to practice. Some other people see it the first time they look at it, and others need to spend more time looking at it. But eventually, if you spend enough time looking at it, then you'll get it. All right. So for example, let's look at this. Let's look at the head and shoulder again. Okay, the head and shoulder does this, comes down, does this, comes down. But if we can look at what's happening in hindsight, it's pretty much another M again. Another double top. But this little information here is there to trick traders. Same thing if we're coming down. It's just like another W, just with a little bit of added information. So we come down like this. But then, looking at it, here's what's actually going on. It's just another W formation forming right there with this extra bit of information to confuse you on where the market is going. Now, we will get to how you get to see it and how you get to take these trades, and we will look at practical examples of how it looks on the chart. But this was just for understanding the theory, and you'll get these as we get to the strategies and as we look at practical examples, as we also have sessions together. As we have sessions together, you will understand what's going on, how this is happening, how to identify them, what to actually look for when looking for all these reversal patterns over here, or how you see a bull market or a bear market. There are simpler ways that we do it, much simpler ways that we see if we have whether we're having a buy market or a sell market. But like we were taught in school, that you can't just use a calculator. You have to know what the calculator is thinking. We have to understand how the calculator is getting to that answer, and then that's how we trade it. So that concludes the lesson, our second lesson on market analysis and market autonomy. Hopefully, once we get to lesson 3 and lesson 4, things will become much clearer for you. But remember, OpenEye Forex team is always here for support. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this lesson, and always remember, whatever you learn in these lessons, go out there, check what's going on, play around with your demo account, and then that's how you can get to learn how to identify these things. So you'll have a better understanding on identifying all these different reversal patterns, once you get to lesson 3. But the homework for today is looking at engulfings. I want you to go look at any single currency pair. If you don't know how to use MetaTrader, go watch the video in the USB stick that talks about MT4 usage. Go watch it. Go see how to play around MT4, and then start identifying bullish engulfings and bearish engulfings, as these are very powerful. These are very powerful candlesticks that we use to trade and to enter trades. I personally use engulfings for any single entry that I'm having. All right. Hope you enjoyed the lesson, and you're one step closer of understanding how to become a profitable trader. Bye.